Welcome to the Engine Room on Bomber TV here at the Hall of Fame at Windy Hill. For the very last time we'll be filming here because the football department is taking over and turning the space into a training venue. Boys, obviously a necessary thing for the club to do to provide more facilities for the players.
Yeah, definitely, Justin. It gives us another opportunity to help them build their positional play skills, and really important for a young group to learn all those necessary skills, and we're sort of starting to see it come out in their games a little bit. So we do appreciate massive sacrifice on the club's behalf, but it's all in the name of progress and getting a better footy team. So
a couple of good wins in the NAB Cup, and I know a lot of people don't put a lot of emphasis on the NAB Cup, but still plenty of good signs for the boys.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt that as a coaching staff we're really happy with the way they've improved. Some of the things that we've been trying at training have been able to implement into the games, which is pleasing. We've tried a lot of other things in terms of playing people in different positions and they're playing their roles within that team. So we're seeing a lot of that come out in the way we're playing, which is really impressing the coaches.
Is a new game plan or a revamped game plan, or at least an adjustment on an existing game plan, does that take time for a playing group to start to get used to?
yeah, it does, to answer that question, but it's also, I think it's important to understand that there's lots of talk about game plans, but we more sort of talk about how we want to play and set the ground up, and we think it's a way of playing that will help us endure through tough periods in games and help us be more competitive over a longer period of time, and especially against big, strong-bodied teams. It's a work in progress though, but as I said 2 weeks ago, we're really enjoying how the players, all of them to a man, have really jumped in and wanted to learn and been really receptive to new ideas, and we're appreciating how hard they want to work at their games. It's been terrific.
David Zaharakis is a player that's obviously on the rise. He didn't play last week. He played very well in the first NAB Cup game. Question via Twitter from Russell Bennett is asking what Zaka still needs to work on to, I guess, become an elite player.
Look, I think that Zach is probably no different to any player that we have in our team. We look for all our players to improve, and there's no doubt that he has taken some big steps over the pre-season in a whole range of areas in his game. I think for Zaka to get some time through the midfield, we'll continue to work on some of his positional craft around stoppages and his ability to be able to play a dual role. And I think if he keeps improving in those areas, we'll see him become a very versatile player for us.
And via Facebook, we've had a question from Ben Cooper asking what's happening with Anthony Long. How's his progress?
Yeah, Anthony's taken a bit longer than we thought, recovering from some hamstring issues, but it's an injury that's quite delicate. You think, well, it'll just repair and get you back on the field, but it's taken a little bit longer, and we're on top of it. We're still going to need a little bit more patience with his rehab, but it's also giving us a unique opportunity to build a stronger body for him, and he's missing out on some valuable game time and game experience, but we're hopeful we can get him bigger and stronger to be able to handle AFL footy. But we're quite optimistic about his ability and his talent. We just need a little bit of luck now and a little bit of good management, and we think we'll see him out there in the not too distant future. Okay.
Another one from Facebook from Brad Morrissey. He's wanting to know the substitute this year. How do we plan on using it? What sort of player do you think will fill that role as that fourth player on the bench that can be substituted onto the ground?
Well, I think it's going to really depend from week to week on who we're playing, and I think we as a coaching staff pick a team that we feel is best to win that game, and whether that's we have a substitute which is a utility, more of a runner or a taller player, will really determine who we're playing against and where we feel that we can get an advantage throughout the game. So it'll vary from week to week, and I think as all coaching staffs around the AFL will know that it's going to be a real see how it goes process and work out what's best for the team.
All right, thanks Goody, giving us a little bit there but not too much, so thank you for that. Ariel Steinberg, Daniel Pinter is wondering how he's going, how he's tracking along. Obviously he played very well in a couple of the intra-club games, kicked a few goals, and he's clearly a strong mark overhead. How's his progress?
Yeah, he's learning a lot about the game. He's probably grown up as a young kid that relied heavily on his marking, and that still will be a feature of his game. I think our supporters will really enjoy him flying for balls in the forward 50. It's a significant attribute he has. Our job is to add to his overall game, and we're doing that. He's nearly ready to go. We believe he'll be available to play next week he's back in full training. It was a minor medial ligament, not a major one. Yeah, we're optimistic with Ariel. He's got all the goods to be an exciting player, but much to learn about the game have most of our younger guys.
A little bit of that X factor.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. What is X factor?
Well, it's something, it's the great unknown.
A little bit of ability to impact the game, maybe.
I guess another great unknown was the dynamics of the coaching group. A couple of weeks now into the coaching box. For you, Goody, you've probably never really been in there as an assistant coach, I guess, and then also everyone's wondering how Bomber and Hurdy are getting along and how that dynamic's working. How has it gone, and what can you tell us about what goes on inside the coach's box?
Yeah, asked you, mate.
Well, I guess for me,
Nice
I've only
angle.
been in there for a couple of weeks, but from my perspective, I think it's been really pleasing for me is the box has remained really calm, and we've gone about our business in a real methodical manner and discussed things a lot throughout the game. It's a very busy area of the game, but certainly the emotions are in control, which is pleasing. I think you make better decisions doing that. So I think from my perspective, everyone has good influence, and it's very equal throughout the group. So to me, the box is working well, but that's only from a person that's 2 weeks in. You probably ask a guy that's been 12
Mackie,
years.
you've had some time with Bomber, and now he's come to Essendon, and now how do you find he's mixing in with everybody and his new role in a way?
Oh, enormous influence on everyone. I think anyone he's meeting here is learning from his vast experience. He understands what a football program should look like and how a week should unfold. And he's exceptionally good at seeing the game. But back to Simon's point, we're all contributing, and that's been a real strength of James from day one. He's the senior coach, and he has contributions, but he also welcomes input from everyone, and very respectful and humble with that, isn't he, Goody? That he'll let people have not only their input based on good preparation, but he supports you through that. And the group's come together really well, I think. Good start. Players have done their bit too. They've performed well, and it's always a lot easier to coach when they're buying into the team and all doing their bit and happy to do things for their teammates, which I think our supporters are enjoying seeing how competitive they've been. But there's a lot more tests to come, and we get a good one Friday night.
This will be the biggest test Friday night against the Saints. Probably a pretty strong St Kilda side.
Oh, it's another one. We want to improve the team and get these guys better, our boys better, and more mature out on the ground and more able to handle larger games. That's our main responsibility as a coaching group, so it's another test. And here we go.
Thanks, boys. Brilliant again.
Thanks, J-Rod.
Thanks,
See you in a
Justin.
couple of weeks.
Cheers, mate.